course. Sounds great.
What is up, Team Happy and Fit? It's Tuesday, my favorite day of the week. I freaking love our team calls, and it's even better that my close friend and mentor, TRINA Gray, is on. There's just so much I could say about her in the Beachbody world, but that's not even what I want to say, is this woman cares about people. Like, I just remember going to my first Team Rockstar Fit day, and you stood at the door shaking everyone's hand, like really wanting to know their name, and you are someone that knows, like, not just names, but dogs, like the names of dogs. And you're so intentional. And the way I saw Erica, she wrote, she took notes of finding top leaders that she admires and the qualities in them. And she wrote your name down first. And it said that you love interviewing people, but you really share a lot of stories, is what she wrote. And I was like, that's exactly how TRINA mentors. She uses her own life lessons, the interactions that she has, and she turns it around in a lesson that is so freaking relatable, that allows you to move in your own heart and in your own business to make you believe that you can do it. So for TRINA to be on this call is such an honor, because it was because of TRINA I saw the vision of what our team is. Like, we would not be here if I didn't catch that vision, and that makes me a little bit emotional. So TRINA, thanks for being on our call tonight. It's so good to have you.
Oh my gosh, you're the introduction of all introductions. Like, that's amazing. I appreciate that you know me as a coach, but I more so appreciate that you know me as a friend and as a mom and as a wife and just as a human being, right? As a woman, just doing my best every single day like you guys are. That's one of my favorite things about coaching, is all the friendships and relationships that has added so much sunshine to my life. And you are by far amongst the sunniest of the sunshines in my life. So thank you for being that for me. And I love seeing you blossom. This team is exploding. It is a top team. It has so much leadership. And that's what's amazing, is that Julianne doesn't keep leadership to herself. She spreads it like a light. And that's why you're all on tonight. So I see that in her. I see that in you. And I'm so happy to be here with you. So let's chat. I sat down at my desk and just wrote up a few lessons in a notebook that I felt like sharing tonight. Julianne kind of gave me some free reign and said, we could talk a little bit about vision and about what it takes to make your vision a reality. But I do tell, I like to teach in stories. So I just have some relevant current stories to share with you and some fun things. So let's start with this. I'm going to hope that everybody has watched that gold standard Zoom that I did. If you haven't, you don't need to shake your head no, but just tell me later you're going to go back and watch it. It's in Rock the Business. It's also been posted in Team Rockstar Fit. I know Julianne, and I'm guessing she definitely would have posted it in Happy and Fit, but the gold standard is a really awesome webinar that I created about maybe half a year ago, 6 months ago. And it's really my thoughts on why you should build a team. It is my thoughts on where the money comes from in the business, and what it takes to build it. So I don't want to spend time on that stuff tonight, because I've already done that for you. And I would love for you to go back and watch that gold standard. However, I pulled 3 slides out of it that if you haven't seen it, I just want to kind of bring you up to speed quickly about the business or financial side of my journey. So often in the business, we talk about the internal transformation, the weight loss, the confidence that we've built, the lives that we've changed. And I love all that. I love all that. This business is transformative, but this business is also a business. So I want to talk a little bit about that piece tonight, and about encouraging you to kind of wrap your arms around the fact that you own a business, and it's fun and exciting. And yes, it's warm and fuzzy and emotional and transformative. And I love that piece, but I want to be the person coming to you tonight just to talk to you a little bit about business. All right. So let me screen share and show you a couple slides that might help you see this from my point of view. So let me go to this one. Okay. So I basically, in the gold standard video, go through lots of stuff, but I get to this point, and I'm just going to kind of bring you up to speed here. I get to the point where I'm talking about, why do you want to invite people to a team? This whole business is built on a team. The whole business is built on inviting other people to coach alongside you. The majority of the compensation plan, the majority of team cycle bonus, matching bonus, fast start bonus, the majority of the money is in team. And lucky for us, the majority of fun, the majority of reward, the majority of purpose is also in team. So it aligns really well. The Beachbody wants us to build a team of other people who are willing to help people get healthy and fit. So focusing all on the retail is not going to get you to the vision you have for your business and life. Bringing people into the team is going to allow you to tap into the compensation plan and going to allow you to have more fun in this business. All right. So I did this quick slide about the formula for inviting. You can go back and watch this webinar later. It basically is my way of saying that anyone you encounter, anyone in your life from high school, college, church, job, neighbor, friend of a friend is somebody that you have the potential to invite. And those are a few questions I encourage you to work them through. So why did you think of this person? Maybe it's a neighbor that you see out running. Maybe it's a mom at school that you know is really busy and hectic and doesn't make time for herself. What's specifically in it for them? They could get paid in their hobby of fitness, or they could learn to make time for their own fitness. What do you love about fitness that relates to them? You got to think this through. For the neighbor that runs, I love fitness myself, and I find that these Beachbody workouts add variety to my workouts, and I think you'd love it too. And I'm on this team that keeps me accountable to my goals. To the mom at school who's buried and not making time for herself, what do I love about the team? They've made me realize that self-care isn't selfish, that I'm meant to take care of myself. What might their objections be? To the neighbor who runs, maybe that person's not in fitness at all, has never thought about being in fitness, has never been in business. And you say, and the coolest thing about this is I'll teach you everything you need to know. And for the mom at school that's so busy and can't make time for herself, her objection is going to be time. And you'd say, the coolest thing is you can work this in 15 minutes at a time. Right? So this is my formula for inviting. And the reason why I want to start with this with you is I want to tell you this whole business is built on a team. Getting more and more comfortable inviting to the business is where it's at. So let me go through a couple of these slides of income, and then I'll tell you a little bit of my stories about how I got here. All right. So this is just showing you a couple early screenshots of paychecks. And the reason why I'm showing this to you isn't to be boastful, although I'm really proud that when I started the business, I got to a point of earning $155. That's not the point of the slide. The point of the slide is to show you the magic behind the curtain, which is that the money was coming from a few different places. And if you're not aware of this, this is it. So out of this paycheck, about a third of it came from retail. Sorry, $30 came from retail. That was me getting somebody started on Shakeology. 56 came from a team cycle bonus, right? That was me as a new diamond coach, building volume in my business, earning a $56 bonus, and then a $70 fast start bonus for starting new coaches, right? So from the very beginning, I knew that the business was built on more than just retail. So I wanted to show you that I feel like my hand on the pulse of the business from when I started working it. Now, if you don't know this about me, I didn't start working it right away. And I was a huge failure of a coach at the beginning, but I found my way. All right. And if I can find my way, and I had some big failures, you can find your way. But I want to show you that once I read the comp plan and I knew what this thing was all about, I did not spend all my time in retail. I invited to the business and got those people onto products. Let me show you what that continues to look like. Same scenario, same business. Now I'm at $80 in retail, $288 in team bonus. For me, then that was everything. That was absolutely having some breathing room in our bills. That was being able to buy all the groceries, fill up our cars with gas, right? That's $288 in my life at that time. And that was enormous. That gave me this taste of freedom. Taste of freedom doesn't happen when you earn $1,000. In my opinion, a taste of freedom is around $100. That just gave me it whet my appetite. That wow, if I could pay for my groceries and fill up both cars with gas, what else can I do by building a team? right? So I wanted you to see that progression. Then look at what happens here. This is my first business center when I first started. I'm just showing you very early paychecks, $17 in commission, $57 in team cycle bonus, $20 fast start. So again, all my checks from the beginning of time I got to Emerald and Diamond quickly. You don't have to, but I feel like, why not? You might as well just invite to the business and get as much out of it and jump in, right? So $94 was an early paycheck in that business. 5 years later, with retail, with team bonus, with adding coaches, with building leaders consistently over time with the compound effect, right? A little bit all the time brought me to a weekly check of $5,000, $5,400. So this is 5 years into the business, and I'm now 10 years into the business. All right, so this continues to compound, and I'm sharing that with you. Again, this is not, Julianne knows me well, Kimmy knows me well. This is not to be boastful. This is sometimes we don't talk enough about the business. And I want you to know that if you knew that it's not just kind of hypothetical, but actually very real, that someone on your team, just like you, mom, wife, kids, 2 dogs, bills, home, sports, job, illnesses, family, struggles, stress, all of it that you have, I have in some way, shape, or form. If you knew that someone just like you got to $5,000 a week in 5 years of just putting my head down and inviting to the team, and knowing that if I put inches into the team every single day, that it would grow and grow and grow. So when we talk about vision, that's what I wanted to lead with. The idea of what would it mean for you? And if I know those are big numbers, I get that. And that might seem like way out in the stratosphere. Well, it was way out in the stratosphere for me when I started too. But that was 5 years of consistent team building. To be honest, retail has always come into my business by using it myself, being a huge advocate. I have used everything, every nutrition product, every supplement. I have tried pretty much all of Beachbody. I've not done all of the workouts. Not all of them speak to me, and I have to still be authentic to me, right? But I've done the majority of the workouts, all the nutritional products. I've tried all the performance line. I've done the 3-day refresh more times than I can count. Ultimate reset, all of it. So I have to be a product of it for sure. But beyond that, retail for me is making sure my coaches are using the programs and products and talking about them with people they can help. That's it. I focus on coaches. I focus on helping people build freedom for their family. I specifically focus on helping women have more choices in life. And I believe when you have an income with your name on it that you've earned, that no one can take from you, that you don't need permission to earn, that no one has to play you in the game, that no one has to give you the raise or no one has to pick you. You pick you. No promotion needed. That sense of freedom and that sense of choice is such a powerful driver to me in my life, and I want to pass a piece of that to you. I had office jobs, and I liked them. I liked working for the State Bar of Wisconsin, a legal association. I liked working for the Wisconsin Supreme Court. I felt validated. I felt purposeful, but I knew that it was going to be a long road of a lot of after hours, a lot of weekends, a lot of having to climb the ladder because people were older than me, or people had more longevity at the company than I did. Now, my fall into Beachbody was not because I wanted to leave an office job. Some of you might have that. My fall into Beachbody was that I'd already found my way into fitness as a hobby, then found my way into fitness as part of my career. I'd been a journalist, found my way into fitness. Beachbody offered me more opportunity. But the reality is, when I got the taste of freedom and choice in Beachbody, that's all I needed. I realized I didn't need anyone's permission. And I think if there's one nugget you could leave here with tonight, it's don't need permission. Write it down, circle it. No permission needed. Access granted. That's it. So what did I do? So what did I start doing once I decided to do something in this business? In case you don't know some of my massive failures, sometimes we connect more with our struggle and failures than our successes. So let me make sure everyone's up on this. I was a terrible coach. I was a coach in the closet. I was a coach that wouldn't have ever told you I was a coach. I didn't use the term beach body to any of my friends because I just thought it sounded salesy. I don't know. I just had problems with it, right? Judgy. I don't know. My parents were very against direct sales, multi-level marketing, pyramid schemes, right? My dad was a state prosecutor. And so super conservative guy, like my parents are great people, but he was a lawyer. My mom's a teacher, and you go the traditional route, right? I wasn't allowed to hang out at one of my friends' houses. Have you guys heard this? Growing up, I was not allowed to go to one of my friends' houses because her mom was in direct sales. My dad just thought that whole household must be shady. Jafra was the makeup. I don't want to say her name because I know Julianne posts these YouTube, and this friend of mine still follows me on Facebook. I was not allowed to go there. So to say that this was not a natural progression for me to get into direct sales is an understatement. So that baggage came with me when I joined the company. I liked the workouts. I was doing Turbo Kick. I liked my friend who invited me. There were so many things I had going for me. I loved fitness. I liked the idea of business. I had so many things going for me, but none of those are more powerful than your own belief. And that was my big freaking problem. I loved fitness. I wasn't even scared of business. Right? I loved the workouts. I was totally open to Shakeology. I knew it was coming soon, but my own belief was so in the toilet that it can't overcome all the things you have going for you. So a lot of things had to happen over a 2-year span for me to actually turn on my belief light and say like, okay, flip switch, belief on, time to go. A couple things that happened. I flew to Summit, flew home on a one-way ticket. 1 day later, wasn't even there 24 hours. Flew all the way to California, felt like a fish out of water, didn't have the right outfit, felt so uncomfortable, didn't like the super workout, felt like I was at a concert that I didn't want to be at, flew home on a one-way ticket. My husband's like, why are you still doing this thing? I don't know, you guys, but if I hadn't stayed, you wouldn't be here. If you don't stay, those people on the Zoom that you're talking to next year won't be here. You're the next guest speaker. You got to stick around. I don't know why I stuck around when I got back from California, but I decided that I wanted to figure out if I could find my own way in this business. I like the concept of it. I couldn't find my way to coach. Not long after that, I went to a Super Saturday, a small Super Saturday. It was 7 hours away in Toledo. I'm not saying this to sound like super dramatic, but I'm legitimately telling you, I almost didn't go because I had a sinus infection. And my husband's like, why do you want to go? You're sick. You know, it's 7 hours from Alpena. My sponsor was hosting it at her house, which is awesome. And I'm like, I got to go. I got to decide if I'm in or out. This was one of my awakenings. I went to this tiny Super Saturday in her living room. I was sitting on the floor. A girl named Mindy Wender stood up in the front of the room. I'm like, Mindy, I like her. Small town, Upper Peninsula of Michigan. I feel her, right? T-shirt and jeans. I think I can roll, right? Super easygoing, super low key, had a dream of taking her kids to Disney. I liked her. And that made me realize that I could like this opportunity if I just decided to be me and not there was nothing wrong with the way the coaches around me were coaching. I just wasn't feeling it. And to give you an example, nothing wrong with this, but it wasn't in me to put on a bikini or a sports bra and do handstands in the sand. Like that wasn't the way I was going to like attract people to my social media. And that's what I saw around me. And I know that was beyond that, but I'm like, I really just want to talk about the fact that I'd love to drive my own kids to school. I'd love to get to pick them up and walk them home. I'd like to have money for a new car. I really like health and fitness. I'm not trying to be a bikini model, but I do want to feel good in my skin, right? Like I had different messages that resonated with me, and I had to be willing to share those messages and be okay with being Midwest, to be honest, right? Okay, so that's what I did, and it worked. What are some of the things I did once I decided to go all in though? Like, okay, well, wait, Trina, what did you do? 2 years into it, right? I had to call Beachbody. They had to reset my password on my Coach Online office because I couldn't log in. I did not know my password to my Coach Online office. Bad news, right? If you have a coach right now, 2 years in, that can't log into her Coach Online office, would you stick with her? That stick with me, right? But maybe if you saw some belief in her, maybe if you just said like, get out of your own head about this thing, girl, like What do you want out of life? What else is going to take you there? What do you want out of life? Sometimes you just got to friggin' elevate the conversation to someone struggling. Stop talking about the tracker. Stop talking about the Success Club points and the National Wake Up Call. Elevate the conversation. Someone's struggling. Girl, what do you want out of life? Is what you're doing right now going to get you there? Because this company can. Because this team can. Because this compensation plan can. Because this business can. But you got to decide you want that. What do you want out of your life? Okay, so here's my little props. This is real. When I decided, why not me? Pretty simple statement, why not me? I decided to go all in with business. And I bet Kim and Julianne might not even know this story. So I knew that personal development was important in this business. And I'm going to read you some of these titles. I just want you to see the visual. I knew that personal development was important, but I knew that I had to really fall in love with the idea of having a successful business. And some people might not love this, and it's cool, do you? But I had to get comfortable with the idea of wealth. Wealth, like something we really don't talk about a lot. Like what did wealth mean to me? It's kind of a weird word. For me, it kind of sounds like people who think they're fancy. To me, it sounds like arrogant. I had to wrap my mind around this in a different way. No, wait, wealth, I decided to me, after reading First Steps to Wealth by Danny Johnson, wealth to me was, oh, wait a second. I could cut back on my hours at my job and walk my kids to school. I could pay for our family to go on a vacation. I could afford to bring my mother-in-law with me. I could pay for my sister and her family to come with us. Wealth. My kids' playground was crappy at their school. I could buy them new playground equipment. Our school football field needed a new scoreboard, digital huge scoreboard. Could I contribute to that scoreboard that will be there for the next 20 years? Wealth. Wealth is the freedom to do whatever you want with your money, whatever you want that fills your cup and hopefully fills the cup of others. I had to get comfortable with this idea of wealth, and I want you to as well. Because if there was ever a business, ever a compensation plan, ever a company that is willing, able, and like arms wide open, who wants in, room at the top, money to be had, no limits on how many people earn a 2-star bonus, how many people earn a 5-star bonus, the more the merrier, this company says. If there was ever a chance to say, wait a second, what does wealth mean to me? How can I be a part of that? Scale that word to whatever that is for you. Maybe that's $500 a month. Maybe it's $500 a week. It doesn't matter. Maybe it's $500 an hour at some point. It's the idea of being comfortable around money, knowing that money has energy and that it's okay. You can do great things with it. And you earn it by helping people. So I went nuts on business books and I devoured them. This is when I know my business shifted. This was diamond to 5-star for me. Diamond to 5-star, these are my books. I'm going to show them to you really quickly. There's no one book that's going to save you, but accumulation of these thoughts and ideas made me feel ready. Made me feel ready to kind of start running this empire. And I say that with like all good intention. Can you just get yourself around the fact that it's okay to have your own fitness empire? Right? I'm throwing words at you that some of you are like, oh my gosh, I thought I liked her. Now she sounds really fancy. No, I'm not fancy, right? We have Walmart and Alpina. There's nothing else here. Fancy means like I want money to do whatever I want with. Someone's going to earn it. Why not you? Once I got more into fitness, I realized, why can't we make as much money in fitness, wellness, prevention than people in acute care, people in hospitals, doctors, surgeons, anesthesiologists? I totally respect what they do, but I totally respect what we do. Wellness, prevention should pay, and it does. Beachbody will pay you. So here's some books. It's not what you sell, it's what you stand for. I'm sure I can just make a list of these for Julianne later. I read the whole entire series of No BS. I mean, I have so many of them. There's 6 of them. I read the whole series by Dan Kennedy, starting with No BS Business Success was my first one that really turned the light on for me. Then it was No BS Wealth Attraction. Now, who the heck did I think I was buying a book on Amazon called No BS Wealth Attraction, driving a Blazer with no air conditioning, with cloth seats, with babies in the back, crying, right? Like, we were not wealthy when I was buying No BS Wealth Attraction, right? It was showing me what was possible in my life way before it was a reality in my life. Does that make sense? I was buying this when my husband's student loans alone were crushing us. He went to a private school, undergrad and grad school. We came into the marriage with all of that debt. I was buying these books before this was my life. So there's a whole series of Dan Kennedy, No BS. If you just want to get kind of sassy in business and be like, he throws it down. I don't like everything he says. I don't like everything Danny Johnson says, by the way. Let me clarify. I like these books because they open doors in my mind. I'm looking for books that are going to open doors in my mind. I don't need to agree with everything they say. I don't agree with everything she believes in this book. Okay? But I believe in opening doors in my mind so I can kind of get around some of her other views she throws in there. All right, this one, Eat That Frog, classic, old school, don't be a procrastinator. This one was like jumping out at me. The Myth of Multitasking, I read these back to back. I read this on vacation with my husband. We were at like a little bed and breakfast. When I say vacation, we were on Lake Huron, just like 45 minutes down the road from where I live. That was vacation. And we stayed at a bed and breakfast. And I brought this book with us. And he's like, and he was totally cool with that. He's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, we have some time off, time away. I'm going to do some reading. So can you envision this being a beach read? If you can get yourself there, you're well on your way. Then I read the E-Myth. Whew, this one's so good. Michael Gerber, the E-Myth. Of course, everyone knows the compound effect. Never can underestimate the power of the compound effect. Dave Ramsey, EntreLeadership. This one made me slightly uncomfortable. There's a lot of concepts in here that I really needed to hear. And that's my stack. All right. So these were books that I looked like I was a successful business owner before I was. I was reading and absorbing concepts of a business owner before I was. Does that make sense? Because I had to grow into the person that could run a big team. I had to grow into the person that believed that life can be easier when you're not living paycheck to paycheck. Cool. All right, I'm going to look at the chat in a moment. Let me throw down a couple quick other lessons and I'll go to chat. So a couple business tips for you. So now the fact that hopefully I've shown you that it's more fun to just believe in the comp plan, believe in the business, believe in wealth attraction, believe in filling your mind with books that are going to open your mind. I want you to know what are a few things you can do in your business to move the needle tomorrow. Okay. Be a business owner. And then here are 3 tips. Number 1, be willing to be direct. Be willing. Are we screen sharing there? Tiffany Arnold. I love that you're looking at the Myth of Multitasking. It's a good one. Jay, do you want to fix that or? I can keep rolling. Okay, cool. I'm a squirrel. I get so easily distracted. See, the myth of multitasking. This is why I like Zooms. You can't be on your phone, right? I have all my notifications shut down. Like I'm way better when I'm present with you. Okay, so be direct, be confident, and be going somewhere. These are 3 big ones I wrapped into 1 tip. Here's what I mean. Be direct. I would love for you to get to a point where you can say without any weird feelings or any like dropping your eyes or covering your mouth, just to be able to say like, I absolutely love this company I'm a part of. There's this company called Beachbody. I don't know if you've heard of them or not, but wow, it's really changed my life. I'd love for you to hear more about it. I'd love to tell you about it. I'd love to see if it's a good fit for you. I want you to be able to talk about this company of Beachbody and your team, Happy and Fit, wherever your team is, like it's the little Lion King, like you're so proud of it and you're showing it off. That's what I want you to think. It's little Simba. This is Beachbody. This is Team Happy and Fit. I want you to be so proud of it. Hold it out there for people to see. If you can be direct and confident, you will attract people to working with you. Why? Because people who are direct and confident are generally going somewhere. Now, I don't mean rude. I don't mean boastful. I don't mean direct as in like calling people out all the time. I mean direct as in say what you mean. Say what you believe in without the fear of what they think. Be confident as in like, I love it. And even if you don't, it won't shatter my love. Even if you don't, you won't chip away at my belief. Does that make sense? Somebody else not loving what you love, you can't let that chip away at your belief. That's being confident and be going somewhere. If I right now had a chance to unmute and hear from each of you, which I know we don't have time for right now, and I asked you the simple question, where are you going? I would know a lot about you, your team, and your potential right now as it stands, a snapshot of today. If I asked you where you're going, some of you would be able to say, I'm on my way to building a 5-star elite team, or I'm on my way to financial freedom, or I'm on my way to building a team of happy, fit, amazing women in my life, or I'm on my way to building a team of couples who want to live debt-free. I'm on my way to living my best life. I'm on my way to being my best self and having more choices and freedom. If you're able to start living and believing and speaking and acting and moving that way, people want to come with you. They want to go with someone who's going somewhere. Going somewhere, if you're taking notes, it's a big one. Going somewhere is more important than already being somewhere. The fact that you are a diamond or a 1-star or 5-star or 15-star does not matter if you're stuck in the mud or you're negative or you have decided to take your foot off the gas. It is going somewhere that matters more than already being somewhere. Going somewhere means that you want to bring people along. Being somewhere is, I'm so good, I'm already here. You can never get here. That's a massive difference. Going somewhere means locking hands with others and saying, I'm going to my best life. I'm going to freedom. Come with me. Being somewhere is, I'm too good. I'm way up here. You'll never get here. Massive, massive difference. Okay, so that's tip number 1. Be direct, be confident, be going somewhere. Tip number 2, be okay with people's concerns. I know it's so simple, but when I was prepping for Julianne's call tonight, I've been thinking about it. My whole car ride today, I had a long car ride, and I was thinking like, what are the things I've done in my coaching business just in the last week that have made a difference in my business? I'm like, oh gosh, one of the big ones for me lately has been be okay with people's concerns. Listen to them, validate them, and then share your perspective. What I mean by that, listen, validate, and share your perspective. I was talking to a potential coach. Sometimes you call them a coach prospect. I just say a potential friend to join my team. Lives in Texas. Wanted to know, follows me on Instagram. We got on a Zoom to talk about the business. And she said, I don't want anything to do with direct sales. I had a bad experience with multi-level marketing, and I really don't know much about Beachbody. Now, some of you might think like, well, why didn't you just hang up right then? Like there's not a lot to go off of right there. Well, she's been following me on Instagram for a while. She must like something about my life or what I do. So I had to try to get to that. And instead of just like, crushing her, I just said, I'm so sorry that you've had a bad experience with an MLM before. Tell me about it. And then she told me, no offense, all about Herbalife and what a bad experience she had. I said, I'm sorry you had that experience. You know, the great thing, this is such a different company. We're a fitness company that happens to have a direct sales compensation plan. We're a fitness company. We want to end the trend of obesity. We don't have crappy supplements. We actually only have a really great health food shake. This whole thing is built on a team. This whole thing is built on collaboration. This whole thing is built on blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we got there. I sent her samples in the mail. We've been chatting. We had an email exchange today. I hope she joins my team. And if she does, great. If she doesn't, great. Either way. I learned in the process how to listen, how to validate, how to share my perspective. And now I own that. And now I can do it again. Okay. And then the last one, if there's anything that you could do more often in the business, I know you're already doing it. I know Julianne talks about it all the time. I wish I could say this is super original, but I'm just legitimately telling you, if you want to get where you want to go, there's a couple things you could do more often. Would be, it's never overdone to share pieces of your story, and it's never overdone to tell somebody they'd be a great fit. You would love to work alongside them. That's different than saying you'd be a great coach. That's different. That's saying you'd be a great fit on our team. You'd really belong here. I would love to work alongside you. Those are phrases that you, I hope, can use over and over and over. Girl, I've been watching you on Instagram, or I've seen some of your stuff on Facebook, or we're friends of a friend, and I heard more about you. You'd be such a great fit for our team. We have tons of young couples or moms or dads or whatever, teachers, whatever you are. We've got a lot of people just like you. You totally belong here. Never enough to share your story and tell people they belong with you. Those are the things that will take you from where you are to where you want to go. So with that, let me end with this piece. There were many, many times over the past 10 years that this business was hard. And I know you get that. So whether you've been in it for 1 week and you're on a Zoom, like first weekend, amen, good for you for being on, or you've been in this for a few years, you've already experienced the hard, right? The hard for me was, honestly, wanting to come out as a coach and be okay with it. Hard for me was being okay with family not being okay with it. Hard for me was friends saying no. Hard for me was friends joining and then quitting. Hard for me was siblings joining and then quitting. Hard for me was coming home from Summit not feeling like I belonged. Hard for me was not seeing a way to coach myself until I just decided that coaching it looked different to me. Hard to me was losing friendships in the business. Sometimes you go in different directions with people, and then you got to be okay with that. Hard for me was believing in a coach, and then they leave for another company. Hard for me was missing out on some stuff with my kids because I really had a deadline to meet. But you know what? And when I list out all those things, hard for me things, I'm like, what? That list is like so tiny. Right? If you truly choose your hard, okay, so my feelings have been hurt a few times. So I had to miss a few things. So I had to miss some girls' nights out. So I had to miss a couple things with my family so I could build this business. Well, what's the other hard? The hard could be that I'd be grinding 24 hours a day and barely making my bills and barely seeing my kids and living an unpurposeful life. That's way harder. I've chosen small sacrifices day over day over day to have a life of reward. And that's what I would encourage you to do, to choose small sacrifices day over day over day over day to live a life of reward. Those are my remarks for you tonight. I am happy to look at the chat and see what you have to say. Julianne's asking, do you have any questions for me?
You're amazing. That was so good. I took 5 pages of notes and I listened to you 3 times a week.
You must have been writing big, girl, because I was just sharing. But let me go ahead. If there's questions, go ahead. Otherwise, I'm just going to look through the chat. It's kind of fun to read. Tell me. Oh, anything's possible. Yes, yes, yes. Taste of freedom. Yeah. What's your taste of freedom? Oh, it's such a remarkable concept. An extra $50. And remember that the taste of freedom is early in the business. That we sometimes think we have to have success to show for it. No. Taste of freedom is the first time you get to go do something without guilt attached. That's a way to look at it. What's the first thing I did without guilt attached? Something I bought, something I took to my kid's school, whatever. Then you just realize there's so much more where that came from. Oh, spending. Oh, I like reading your stuff. Act as if going somewhere versus being somewhere. So good. Advice for getting new coaches started. I'll make that simple and short just to not. Yay, I'm so glad that you wrote down a lot, Kate. Chris, tips on getting new coaches started. I'll just pick one tip that fits with my talk tonight, just on the fact of you own a business. It's a great compensation plan. It's a great company. Get behind it. Dive in sooner than I did. And I would say I start talking to my coaches about opportunities in the business right away. Right. So even if someone is joining, if you have people joining as a coach of self or a VIP or a discount coach or whatever, that person can still get paid for their referrals. That person might still want to get a company bonus. That person might still want to know that the compensation plan rewards you for helping yourself stay fit, helping others stay fit, and helping others open a business. So I start talking about those things right away. When a coach gets added to my new coaches downline, generally not by them right away, but maybe I've added someone, I screenshot the graphical genealogy and I send it to them. I say, I bet you don't even know what this means yet, but wow, you already have somebody on the team in your downline. They don't even know what it means yet, but I'm talking about the business right away. So those are some simple things. I help my new coaches get started. I have two new coaches who started with me last week. I'm helping them set up their virtual wellness studios right away. So whether you have people join your own and lead with you, or you help them start their own, my coaches are inviting to something right away. So on their getting started right, it's what are you inviting to? To my group, to your own wellness studio? What program or product do you want people to start with? So I have my new coaches, just randomly, my two new coaches are starting with 2B Mindset. They wanted it for themselves. And I said, if you're going to learn it, you might as well learn it with some friends and family doing it with you. So I give really clear direction. I know exactly what they're inviting to right away. They can either be inviting to my group or inviting to their own group from the very beginning. And I talk to them about the business. I screenshot stuff happening in their downline and send it to them before they even really know what it means. So hopefully a couple of those tips helped. All right. Freedom and confidence, not being so nervous, power. Julianne Bates Management downline. Yeah, Riley. Oh, Laramie has a question. What monthly goals did you set for yourself starting out? What monthly goals did you set for yourself starting out? Well, the original start was crappy. I wasn't even logging into my Coach Online office. So let's skip that part. Then when I when I actually started inviting to the business, I had a goal of adding to the team every single month. So I don't remember Julianne, how far back that started. I can't even remember not having the goal of 2 coaches a month just because I've had it for so long. Is that a wild number? Not by any means. If you listen to National Wake Up Call, there's people that recruit 50 coaches a month, right? So my number's not big, but 2 coaches a month, 12 months a year, 10 years, that works. I'd make yourself a goal. If you ask me to give you a number, I'd make yourself a goal of over time having 100 of your own personally sponsored coaches. And that's a couple at a time, over and over and over. Right? So my monthly goals at the beginning were always to add to the team, to be having conversations with people about, and it was really like some of my favorite kinds of coaches are just people who I knew liked fitness. So everyone has a different avatar, different people you want to work with. I liked women who were either teaching group fitness or going to group fitness classes. If I look at my first 5 diamonds, 2 of them were local moms going to group fitness classes. 2 of them were instructors. 1 was my husband, and that was 5-star. Right. So I liked people who already like fitness, and I could just say to them, you're already like fitness. You should be a part of this community. You'll stay fit and you'll get paid to help others get fit. So my goals have always been tied to growing the team. And then as I progressed, I'd say my goals then turned to mentoring people on the team. But my goals have always been tied to that piece. I hope that helps. Yes, hint. That's why I celebrate going to Emerald every month. Of course, Julianne's got it dialed in. Yes, Julianne reminds me of that lesson that with the mindset that one coach is really, in my view, I say like, oh, one coach isn't one coach. One coach, I might be responsible for 10 coaches from that one coach. If I really help my coach, Alexa Gruber, Alexa's not one. Alexa has the potential. She now has 14 of her own coaches. One coach building a team is very powerful, right? So your one coach is exponential, if that makes sense. Kate, the mindset of needing this in your life after not really doing it for your first couple of years. Is that a question, Kate? Are you asking me about like random things triggered it for me? To be honest, like, yeah, I know people don't always love these answers, but I am going to walk the walk of being super honest and direct, right? I already liked fitness. I already have it in me that by nature, truly people who know me know I really do like helping people. So knowing that I already had that in me, that like, no, I actually like helping people. I like sharing the love. I like teaching, or I like fitness. Knowing I already had that, what triggered it for me was financial opportunity, right? There was a dream house on State Street in Alpena that I wanted. It's beautiful, 2-story home on the lake. I went to the open house when it was for sale. It was so far in my price range, it wasn't even possible in my life at the time. My mom was here visiting. She went to the open house with me. And I know I got her hopes up. She thought we actually were going to be able to afford a place like that. I said, no, Mom, I just always want to go in this house. It's a beautiful staircase, a huge chandelier when you walked in. I just loved it. And it was nowhere in my realm. And when I heard that it sold to a local anesthesiologist who's a great guy and his wife and their 2 kids, I was so sad. It took me kind of losing something I wanted was one of my early triggers, that I just started thinking, why not me? Why can't my kids grow up on the lake? Why can't my kids have the sprawling backyard? It doesn't take from him, my friend David, who bought the home, it doesn't take from him to me to want it too. My goals, my drive, my desires are never to outdo someone else or to take from someone else or to beat someone else. My goals for myself are to live with abundance and believe that there's enough for all of us. Why not my family? Does that make sense? It's okay to have a financial trigger, in my opinion. And wanting that home and not getting it, not even being in the realm of it being possible, was a huge trigger for me. Yes, thanks, Julianne, for saying that. A few years later, yes, we did build, we have our dream home on that same lake on 3 acres on a peninsula. So when I look back on it, I'm so glad I couldn't afford that home at the time, because my home now is where I'll be for the rest of my life. And I appreciate you saying that, Julianne, because it has been 10 years of hard work, but you choose your hard. And I live where I want to live with who I want to live, and I fill my days with what I want to fill them with. And I want that all for you.
Thank you so much. Seriously, thank you for spending your time with us. And I I always learn from you. So
Thank
we
you for having
appreciate it
me.
so much. You're incredible. And honestly, it's like if you would not have stuck to it, none of us would be right here. And we're so meant to be on the team that loves hoodies and jeans and not doing handstands with sexy pictures on the beach. We're eating. Like, that's what we're doing. And so it just makes sense we're in the right place. And so thank you for your vision. Thank you for Trina has always been the one to tell me, like, if I could do it, you could do it too. And I hope that's what you heard tonight, is like how real that really is. And I believed it. And that's why I went for it. So Trina, we love you.
Thank you. Julianne, you can stop the recording if you want.